Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2012 movie titled The Package. Please be advised that there will be spoilers ahead. In the opening scene, we are introduced to a group of men hanging out at a bowling alley. Soon, two tall, burly-looking men in black coats enter the place and talk to Luis. Luis owes Big Doug some money and is running late. Tommy Wicker, one of the men who has come to collect the payment, easily defeats Luis' men in an attack. Tommy, along with his partner, approaches Luis and places his face against the bowling ball machine. As Luis begs for forgiveness, Tommy threatens him. He lets a bowling ball break Luis' nose and gives him another warning, saying he's letting him go easy. Next we see Tommy and his partner at a doctor's clinic for a physical. Tommy enters the clinic, where he receives his mandatory shirtless shot. As he looks in the mirror, he affirms that he is still in good health. Of course, he is. Tommy then visits his boss, where they discuss the payments he has collected from various individuals. Big Doug inquires about Tommy's wife and brother. We discover that Tommy's brother has encountered difficulties with Big Doug, and Tommy is currently working to settle his debt. Tommy's boss instructs him to deliver a mysterious package to a crime lord known as the German, promising to clear his brother's debt upon completion of this task. Tommy agrees and asks Big Doug what's in the package, but his boss tells him that he's being paid not to ask. Tommy takes the package and leaves, greeting Luis on his way out, who was listening to their conversation. After Tommy leaves, we see Big Doug making a call to someone and letting them know that the package is on its way. The individual in question is none other than the German himself. He gets out of his car and walks into a restaurant where he's meeting up with Nicholas, another crime lord. Nicholas is upset over some silver that the Germans have intercepted, leading to a tense exchange between them. We also observe that Nicholas has several gunmen positioned in the kitchen, ready to launch an attack. Nicholas and the German have called for a truce, and Nicholas has offered to speak with the chef to arrange lunch. But the German wasn't born yesterday. He sets down his sunglasses and grabs a knife from a table. Just as four gunmen enter the dining hall, he flips over a table and kills one of them. Using the guy's body as a shield, he miraculously survives 3 machine guns being emptied 4 feet away without getting hit and uses his victim's gun to kill the 3 men. He then climbs into a vent to get to the kitchen and attacks the remaining men, killing them all. He tracks down Nicholas hiding in the back kitchen and stabs him with his knife. While he watches his enemy die, he thoughtfully cleans his weapon and leaves it to dry. The scene shifts to Tommy, who is paying a visit to his brother Eddie in the prison. He informs him about clearing his debt with Big Doug, and Eddie tells him that this is not Tommy's cross to bear. When Tommy says that Eddie would have done the same for him, Eddie says that he probably wouldn't have cared. Eddie's concern for his brother is evident, yet he opposes Tommy taking on Big Doug's job, fearing that if things go wrong, he could find himself imprisoned alongside Big Doug's friends and face financial consequences. After they part ways, Tommy goes back to his wife's house, only to find her dressed in a towel and the table already set. After some sexy time, Darla asks him what he would do if a miracle happened. She also inquires if he has considered working as a bouncer elsewhere, to which he responds that the pay would not be as high. Additionally, Tommy is tasked with covering Eddie's debt. Darla nods understandingly, and they appear to be deeply in love. However, we discover that Tommy doesn't express his love to his wife because, in his defense, she already knows how he feels about her. Okay, moving on. The next morning, Tommy and his partner are on their way to deliver the package. Julio is curious about what could be significant in such a tiny package, and Tommy says he doesn't want to know. Curiosity overwhelms Julio, prompting him to take a peek. We witness him scowling, and just as he prepares to utter a word, a bullet strikes him. Tommy loses control of the vehicle, causing it to turn over and crash. Tommy is able to escape into a nearby shop as a group of mercenaries attack him. There is some gun action, and Tommy manages to fight off most of the mercenaries and escape, just as one of the guys outside starts shooting at the store. The leader of the group is Devin, and he tells his surviving team that the guy they were told to attack was supposed to be a goon, a mere bouncer. However, his skill exceeded their expectations. They circle back to the gas station, from where Tommy had grabbed someone's bike and ran. After watching the tape, Devin kills the owner and then contacts his employer. This turns out to be Anthony, another crime lord who was involved in the gang war against the Germans. He berates Devin for messing up and warns him about the importance of the package. As we follow Anthony, we discover that Luis has brought him information about the package, which is valuable enough to cover Tommy's brother's debt. Anthony, clad in a Burberry scarf and a yellow tie, exudes a demeanor akin to that of a university professor, eager to obtain the package in order to negotiate a deal with the German. He asks Carl to share Tommy's picture everywhere so that they can get to him before he takes the package to the German. Next, we see the German standing in his kitchen, preparing a smoothie. As he discusses the advantages of each fruit he adds to the jug, the camera shifts to reveal a bleeding man sitting in front of him. The German wants information on who sent the guy to his house. He seems calm and cool, with the occasional cough, as he talks further about mackerel on buttered toast and how the guy will never be able to walk again. When he refuses to yield, the German finds the address in his wallet and threatens to kill his family. The dying man divulges Anthony's name and faces immediate gunfire. In the subsequent scene, Carl, a member of Anthony's team, informs him that the Germans have sent them video footage of him, which shows him killing the men they had sent to his house. Anthony becomes enraged and responds with a villainous monologue. We then finally get to Tommy, who is in a public bathroom, cleaning his wounds, and getting a change of clothes. Afterwards, he calls Big Doug and says that he wants out. Something doesn't feel good to him about the whole deal. His boss tells him that he can send someone else, but in return, he will forfeit his pay, making it impossible for him to both survive and pay Eddie's debt simultaneously. Helpless, Tommy agrees to continue with the mission and then calls Darla. They have a sweet exchange before Tommy hangs up on her and hitches a ride to Vancouver. Meanwhile, the German prepares a drink for a guest, the food connoisseur that he is, before they get up. They walk to a room with medical equipment in it and talk about the package, which the German informs them is en route. A security guard immediately recognizes Tommy's arrival in Vancouver and contacts Carl. Carl then calls Devin and tells him to get to the location. Carl goes up to Tommy, and the two of them get into a fight. The fight ends with Tommy pinning Carl down and almost killing him. He changes his mind and is about to walk away when Devin walks up. Devin's team member, Monique, quietly sneaks up behind Tommy as the two of them talk and tasers him. They take Tommy to their place, where Monique ties him up and holds a surgical blade to his face. Anthony arrives and stops them, saying that the German would only negotiate if he's able to see Tommy alive. Anthony leans close to Tommy, asking him what's so special about him, before Tommy kills him with a single headbutt. Devin decides to negotiate directly with the German. However, things do not proceed as planned, as Tommy manages to break free from his restraints following a feeble attempt by Monique at a perilous torture site. He also manages to defeat Devin, and just as he prepares to leave, one of Devin's men knocks him unconscious. Tommy awakens, bound to a bed, surrounded by a doctor and a German. They talk about their past and how the Germans had betrayed Tommy. The German says that he deserved it. Tommy asks what was in the package, and the German responds that the wallet contained some football tickets. Tommy is confused when he tells him that he was the package. Tommy was sold to the Germans by Big Doug. He lets the doctor explain how Tommy and the German share an extremely rare blood type, the HH blood type, which the German wants so that he can replace his diseased blood with Tommy's clean one. Given the difficulty in finding a donor, the Germans sought assistance from the local crime lords. This explains why Big Doug had his men undergo physical examinations earlier in the movie. The German leaves the doctor to his work, but Tommy tricks the doctor. He lies that he has a condition that will make his blood lethal to the Germans. As the doctor leans close to listen to Tommy, he takes a bloody bite out of the doctor's neck. He breaks his bonds and fights off the guards who start to fire at him. Tommy makes his way out as the German intercepts him, and the two of them battle it out. After a long fight, Tommy shoots the German, finally killing him. He then gets in a car and drives back home. The first thing he does is see Big Doug. Tommy grabs the shotgun from under the table and settles across from his boss. Big Doug tells him that it was simply a business deal, and he had no choice. If he hadn't handed him over, the German would have hurt Doug's entire family. Tommy is understandably pissed but understands. Big Doug proposes that they either return to their previous state of affairs or part ways, clearing Eddie's debt. Tommy bids Big Doug farewell and departs. Next, he goes to see his brother. Eddie breaks down when he finds out that he is in no danger from Big Doug anymore. He promises to be better when he gets out of jail, and Tommy nods. The two finally reconcile, pushing their fists through the glass. Lastly, Tommy goes to sell the car he got from the German's house and finds a huge amount of cash in its trunk. He calls Darla and tells her he's coming home with a surprise. He finishes the call by telling her, "I love you." Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.